All right, so today I'm gonna kind of take you guys on a day in the life of what I do as a mechanic for a property maintenance slash landscaping company. Might turn into a couple days just because we got a couple ongoing projects that might take a couple days. So first thing we got to do is take this tractor out that's behind me and bring our skid steer in. We're gonna get some new tires put on that thing, and also we're gonna get the rims powder coated. So we got to get those dropped off by 10 o'clock this morning. Next up on my list here, we got a cutting edge to fix on our Kubota M6 111 with the metal plus. One of the springs broke off of the back. I'll show you guys more what I mean when we get there. And then last thing on the list for today, hopefully the actuator that I was talking about in the last video for the tractor behind me, our case, is finished being rebuilt, and we can get that installed back on this thing so we can get this thing back to site, and it's ready to go for next time it snows. So yeah, let's get these machines moved around, and let's get to it. All right, so here is our case SV300. It's a 2016. These are the ones we're going to be replacing the tires on. So you can see there really isn't much left on these tires. And we thought, since we got some downtime right now, this machine's about 8 years old. So we'll give it a little bit of love, and we'll get these rims powder coated and get them looking nice again. And I think once it's in the shop here, we'll probably take some of these panels off and also just give these things a quick paint job just to kind of get this thing looking a little bit better than it is now. And these are the tires that we're going to be throwing on it. You can see there's a lot more tread on these. Picked these up online for about $400 for the set, which I think is a pretty good deal. Since these tires new, they tend to run about $250 to $350 a tire. So I think we got a good deal on them. So yeah, let's get these off and get the tires off. All right, so as you guys can see, we got all the tires dismounted off the rims. This is the tire company that we use, Fast Tire. They do everything from lawnmower tires to tractor trailer tires. So definitely check them out if you guys need any tires and you're in the GTA. They do mobile service and everything. So let's get these things dropped off to the powder coater, and yeah, they'll come back fresh in a couple days and we'll get them back on the machine. All right, so now we're back at the shop. We're gonna get some of these little panels here freshened up, clean them off with the wire wheel, and then just give them a quick coat of spray paint. So we're gonna do these two here, and then we're also gonna do the panel that used to sit in here that I have outside on the sawhorses over there. Yeah, we can't take these panels off because there's fluid behind them, and it'll all leak out if we take them off. So yeah, I'm gonna set you guys up in a time lapse, and yeah. Alright, so we got it all cleaned up and taped off. Got a first coat on there, but I got tired of shaking this thing by hand. So what I did is I taped it to one of our reciprocating saws, and I'm gonna shake it like this for a couple minutes. Alright, so we got these panels painted up. Definitely not the best finish, but I think if we did too good of a job, we would have had to repaint the whole machine. So we kind of went for the good from far and far from good finish on these things. So it is 11:37. We're gonna have a little bit of lunch, and then we're gonna get on this broken spring here on one of the Metal Plus plows. So I'll show you guys that once we get that machine in the shop. All right, so next thing on the list today is this Metal Plus plow on our Kubota M6. Over here, this spring got broken off of the backside. You can kind of see it's hanging down here, and you got a gap. So I'll show you guys from the backside. So down here, hopefully you guys can see that. You can see where the bottom of this spring broke off from there. It's supposed to look like this side, and it goes up and it gets held on up there. So we'll get this thing taken off, and it's pretty simple. Just usually I put a jack underneath the cutting edge here to take some tension off the spring, and you just take this bolt out, and then the whole cutting edge will just slide down. I'll get it on the bench and I'll show you guys more. Alright, so now that we got the cutting edge on the bench, you can see the components that puts this thing together. You got your spring guide here, you got your spring, and then you got your little eyelets down here that are welded onto the back of the cutting edge. This is the one that broke off. So these cutting edges are about $700 if you were to get a new one. So what I do is that one of the fabrication welder guys that I know. I get them to make these brackets here, and it's basically a replacement for these ones, and then he just grinds all this stuff off, the old weld, and he welds these ones on for me. So this is actually the last one I got, so I got to get him to make a couple new ones, and we'll get him to weld this piece on there, and then we'll get it back on the tractor once it's all done. The other thing we noticed, we just did a quick inspection on this machine when we have it here in the shop, and I noticed that this piece here, this bracket on the plow mount, is broken off. It looks like somebody already tried to re-weld it, but they definitely didn't get very good penetration in the weld. You can see it's just loose, so we'll have to clean this all up and try and get a better weld on it. So yeah, I'm gonna drop this cutting edge off to that guy, and then we'll get welding here. All right, so we got all the welding done. Just keep in mind, I'm not a professional welder. Just started this year welding, so that's the weld along the top. Definitely need to practice welding overhead. It's always a little bit tricky for me, but that's what we got on the bottom. So be nice to me if you guys are a professional welder or something. If you have some helpful tips, let me know. But yeah, we're gonna throw a coat of paint on this, and yeah, that's about it for this machine. Once the cutting edge comes back for there, it'll be good to go again. All right, so we got this thing all painted up here. Should be good enough for now. We'll see if it holds, and if it doesn't, I'll let you guys know. The other thing I just noticed quickly is that here there's this little bracket here that's supposed to hold these hoses in place and stop them from rubbing, but the other side's all bent, so we'll have to bend that back and just put a couple tacks on it. Show you guys on this side what it's supposed to look like. You can see there the hoses kind of just run through it, and yeah, so we'll get that fixed quickly, and then
All right, so we got that piece welded back on. I don't know, not the best weld, but it's good enough. Not going anywhere. It's just holding some hoses in. So yeah, I called the people rebuilding that actuator for us. It's going to be done hopefully sometime tomorrow in the morning. So we'll go pick that thing up, and same thing with the repair on the cutting edge down here. Things should also be ready tomorrow in the morning or afternoon, so we'll get those picked up and we'll get that all finished. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, so it's now the next day. It's about 10:30, 11 o'clock right now. I just picked up the actuator for this case right here with our HLA plows. Fits right in there, and I got it over here on the bench. You can see they went through the whole thing, rebuilt it, changed all the seals, and gave it a nice paint job. Got all the nuts and bolts here to get it installed. The one thing you just want to check before you install everything is just these O-rings on your hydraulic fittings. Just make sure there's no rips or tears in them. But yeah, those ones look good on there, so we should be good. And yeah, I'm gonna set you guys up and we'll get this thing installed. All right, so we got the actuator all bolted up here, hydraulic lines attached, everything's tight. Last thing to do is actually bolt the wing to the actuator. But you can see in here, the bolt holes aren't really lined up right now. And what you also got to make sure when you're installing these is that you're bolting the wing in the right place. So you got to make sure that the actuator is fully turned, let's say closed for the wing, and then you bolt it down. Because if you just line up the holes and you bolt it and you don't know where the actuator is clocked, you're going to open the wing and then you'll just shear off all the bolts inside of here. Don't ask me how I know, but yeah, so I'm going to try and set you guys up so you can see when I move this actuator inside the tractor, and you guys can see what I'm talking about, make sure these bolts are lined up and it's clocked in the right position. All right, so hopefully you guys were kind of able to see what I'm talking about with the making sure it's clocked in the right position. So yeah, I'll get these bolts in and then that's it. This thing's good to go. All right, so we got all the bolts installed in the top. Everything's good. You guys can see it working there. Just double check, make sure nothing's leaking. And yeah, that's it for this machine. So I don't know if you guys saw it in the last video, we replaced the cutting edges along the entire bottom, straightened out these wings a little bit and the shoe plates in the bottom. But yeah, this machine's now good to go and we can get it back to site. So, all right, so it is now Wednesday, just after lunch. This morning we picked up the tires from the powder coater, or sorry, we picked up the rims and we got the tires installed. So here is what we're looking at. Maybe we're gonna take them back off and paint the hubs the same grade and make it look a little bit better. So they turned out pretty nice. Hopefully they last us another 8 years. Got the new tires on it as well, so this thing should be good to go. With the panels all painted up on the machine now. Kind of just gave it a little bit of a facelift. You can see the rims on this side and that other panel back here. So yeah, I called my welder buddy and he said the cutting edge and those extra brackets that I get him to make should be ready to go for Friday. So I'm gonna go pick those things up then and I'll get that cutting edge installed, and then that'll be it for this video. So yeah, I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. All right, so it's Friday night now. We got our cutting edge back with the new piece welded on, and we got a couple more of our brackets welded up. And so down here on the bottom of the plow, these you have your spring guides here, and they slide into the slot here, and then they twist, and then that's how they lock in. And next piece to go on is your spring. You slide that on from the bottom, and then you do that for both sides, and then your cutting edge goes on the bottom of the spring here, and then I use the jack to jack it up, and then so you can get the bolts in the bottom of it. So I'll get all that done and then I'll bring you guys back. All right, so we got the springs in and cutting edges installed. You can see the new tab that we got welded on there, bolts in the bottom. Let me show you guys from the front. So we got our cutting edge back in, and you can see now it's not hanging down on the side like it was before with the gap. So yeah, this was supposed to be a day in the life. It kind of turned into a week in the life just because of how long some stuff took to get back to us. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one.